Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing an everyday makeup look that's kind of supposed to replicate a no makeup look, but it's a no makeup look that's kind of on steroids. So we are definitely wearing makeup. This is not necessarily supposed to be like a minimal makeup look because we are fully wearing a full face of makeup today, but it's a makeup look that's really natural looking and that's really soft and pretty. I also show you guys a few different techniques that I've been using quite a bit recently that I feel like has made quite a big difference in the way my makeup has looked. So even though this is a really simple look, I feel like a lot of the techniques that I use, even though they're also simple, makes such a big difference in the end, and I'm really excited for you guys to see them today. Please do not forget to let me know in the comments your thoughts on this look. Let me know some of your favorite products that you like to use when you like to create looks that are similar to this. And please, if you end up recreating this, I want to see your beautiful faces. Definitely tag me on Instagram or on Twitter. And whenever you guys do, I always love to reshare and retweet. It's like my favorite thing to do. So this whole entire look is really a skin look. There's not really much going on with the eyes except for the lashes. So we're really gonna be focusing a lot on technique and products that are going on the majority of the face. So the first product that I really feel like has made such a big difference in the way my foundation has been looking is the Herbivore Emerald Cannabis Sativa Hemp Deep Moisture Glow Oil. It's such a long name. Now, there was a point in time where I was using this before every single one of my makeup applications, and then I stopped for whatever reason, and I actually have noticed such a big difference since going back to using this before applying my foundation. Every single time I apply my foundation, my skin just looks so much glowier, more moisturized. The foundation's just sitting really nicely on my skin. So I gotta say, this stuff makes such a big difference and I really love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit on the tips of my fingers and then just massage this all over my face. If you have a drier skin type, I'm telling you, putting on an oil before applying your foundation is the biggest game changer. It makes such a difference in the way the foundation looks. Now, I would suggest though that you kind of let the oil sink into your skin for like a minute or two before you go in with your foundation, because you don't want your skin to be like slick. You don't want it to be, you know, super oily. You just kind of want that little bit of oily residue left on your skin when you go in to apply your foundation. So just like chill, take a sip of water, and then we could put on the foundation. The foundation that we're gonna be using today is the YSL Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow Foundation. This used to be one of my favorite tinted moisturizers. I don't really know what happened. I don't know at what point did I stop using this, but I kind of put it aside for like a couple months just because probably I found other tinted moisturizers that I like a lot as well. And I recently went back to this and I don't know why I ever wore anything else on my skin. This is called the All-in-One Glow Foundation, of course, so it does give your skin a really pretty glow, but it's not over the top. The coverage is also perfect, especially for kind of like a day-to-day wear. It's definitely a little bit more than like a typical tinted moisturizer. I would say it falls in like the medium coverage range, but it still looks super lightweight and kind of like nothing on the skin. And thirdly, it just wears amazing throughout the day. Like I could put this on at 8 a.m. and at 8 p.m. it looks exactly the same as it did when I first applied it. Yes, it fades a little bit, but it fades very little and it just continues to look amazing throughout the whole entire day. So I'm just taking 2 pumps of this. I put it on the back of my hand. I'm using the shade, by the way, B30. And for my foundation brush today, I'm gonna take my Fenty 115. I actually do prefer to use a foundation brush with this product because I feel like it kind of keeps the coverage there. You could totally use a sponge or even your fingers, but I feel like it definitely makes the coverage a little bit lighter, which is totally okay, but I think for a look like this, I do want something, you know, a little bit more heavy on the coverage. But you see how much coverage that just gave my skin? Like it completely covered up all of the redness with like literally no effort. And I barely use any of the product that's on the back of my hand. I still have quite a bit left over. So honestly, I probably could have gone in with just 1 pump and been fine for the whole face. So there you have it. Foundation is applied. Do you see this glow on that cheekbone? Not even wearing a highlighter. It's just the base, which is perfection. So now that we have the base down, I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eyes. Now, lately I've been using a peach color corrector, which I never used to do. I rarely would go in with any type of color corrector, but I was totally inspired by my mom, who was inspired by Samantha Ravndal to use a peach color corrector, because in the video that I did with my mom, I actually used this product on my under eyes, I kind of felt like my under eyes look so much more awake and brighter than they normally would with just concealer. So this is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade light to medium. What I really like about this is that it's not a super intense peach shade. It's kind of just like, it's kind of like a slightly peachy pink color, very, very subtle. So it doesn't like show through underneath your concealer. It just really lightly brightens up underneath the eyes. So I like to apply this using a teeny tiny bit of product. So I'm actually going to take a little brush. This is the Makeup Forever 176 brush. You could really use anything. I just needed a clean brush, and this was the only one that I had in my collection currently that's clean. So I'm just picking up the smallest amount of the product, and I'm just placing a little dot right underneath my eyes, and I'm also taking a little bit of this right on the inner corner of my eye. This was a trick that my mom did in the video, which is a trick that I think she learned from Samantha, and putting a little bit of this brightening color corrector right on that inner corner is just going to really naturally brighten up the inner corner without having to go in with like a highlighting powder. It's a trick that I've been using lately, and I swear it just makes like the biggest difference in the world. I don't know how or why I've never thought of doing it, but it's honestly one of my new favorite tricks. So definitely highly recommend trying that out. So as you can see, I'm just blending that in quickly with just my finger. I do like to use my finger because I feel like the heat of it really just blends it out nicely. So the concealer that I've been loving the most as of late has been the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Full Coverage Concealer Fluid, and this one is in the shade Fair. I love this because it gives me like a solid medium coverage, but it's very lightweight. It's also really nice and hydrating. If you have a drier under eye, this is such a beautiful product because it just looks hydrating underneath the eyes. So what I've also been doing is I've been trying to use as little concealer as possible, just because I feel like it just looks better on my under eyes. I've just been putting some of the concealer on the back of my hand, and then I'll go in with a concealer brush. I'm just gonna use this one from Morphe. It's the J53. And then I'm just gonna feather the product on with the brush. And I feel like this just allows me to use so much less product. Normally when I would go in and just apply giant triangles underneath my eyes, even if I don't apply giant triangles, I still find that when I apply it directly from the wand to my under eye, I just apply so much more product than I actually need. So this technique just kind of allows you to minimize the amount of product that you use, which will minimize how heavy your makeup looks. Spreading that concealer towards the center of my face. There's barely anything on my brush right now, but I'm just using that to kind of brighten up the center of the face. We are concealed. Everything's looking really good. I feel like my under eyes look really nice and bright, which I'm loving. So I've been using kind of like a similar-ish technique with my powder, the technique being less is more. So what I've been doing is I've been taking my Hourglass Veil Loose Setting Powder, which you guys know I love, and I'm taking this teeny tiny little brush. I don't know why I use this brush, but I just do. It's just because I started using it with this technique, so now I just always do. It's the Fenty Beauty Brush in 180. By the way, side note, I love the Fenty brushes, like so much. I find myself reaching for them more than like any other brush in my collection. I just really like the quality of them. I like the way that they apply product. I like the shapes. I don't know, they're just really good. Anyways, so what I like to do is I'll just take a little bit of the powder on this brush and kind of like work the powder into the brush. And then I'll use this brush to lightly set underneath my eyes by just gently patting. Of course, if you have more of like an oilier skin type, then go in with powder how you normally would. But if you're somebody who doesn't even really feel like you necessarily need powder, but you want to powder your face to prolong the wear of your makeup, then I feel like this is just a really nice way of keeping things nice and lightweight. So I'm also even putting some down the bridge of my nose, on the center of my forehead, to kind of like cancel out a little bit of the shine just in those areas and to set the makeup there, because that's kind of where my makeup rubs off the fastest, especially on my nose. There you go. So you can see this part of my face is still really nice and glowy, but the center is pretty much all set down. There's still some glow there though. It doesn't look matte or anything. Okay, so now that the base is completely finished, it's time to go in for the color products. So the highlighter, the blush, and the bronzer. So I've actually been contouring recently. In order to kind of contour but still keep things looking natural, I've been using a liquid. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. Can I just say though that this packaging is probably the worst thing ever. It just like explodes all the time and it just looks so disgusting. So it's really unfortunate. Just because there's so much product on the applicator, I'm gonna end up over applying. I'm gonna take the same brush that I use underneath my eyes, the little flat brush from Make Forever, and I'm just gonna pick it up from the exploded applicator. And then I'm just gonna apply this where I wanna contour, which is typically, you know, cheekbone area, temples. And I also have been doing down my nose a little bit. I'm barely even applying down my nose, but I just like a little slight shadow because I feel like if the rest of my face is contoured and structured and my nose isn't, it just kind of looks weird. So this is a trick that I don't do all the time, but when I do it, I think it looks amazing, and that's contouring around your lip line. And this is going to completely transform your lips, make your lips look a lot, you know, more plump than they actually are. And it's kind of like a really natural way in tricking the eye that your lips look a lot bigger. So to do that, I'm gonna take a little fluffy brush. This is from Nabla. It's just called the Precision Shader. Wow, that was hard words to say. And I'm kind of just like running it along the edge of my lips. You don't wanna like go too crazy because then you're gonna look a little bit crazy, but like almost go on your lip and just a little bit over. And then what I like to do to kind of like tone it down, because I don't want it to be too much, is I'll go in with my foundation brush and just kind of pat over it. So I'm gonna take my Smith, this is the 130 brush, and I'm just gonna start to blend it out, just in small circular motions. And what I really like about this contour liquid is that it does blend out super easily. It's not like a difficult formula to work with at all. It just melts into the skin almost immediately. So once I have the contour laid down, because it's a liquid, I like to kind of bronze on top of that with a powder. So that's gonna lock the contour down because you're putting the powder on top of the cream. And it's also going to just make you look a little bit more tan, which is nice. So I'm gonna take my Becca bronzer. This is my Sunlit bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. So this is a super pretty bronzer. It has a little bit of like a glowy sheen to it. I'm gonna take my Hourglass double-ended brush. I'm gonna grab the big fluffy side, bronze where you normally would. So the cheekbone, temples, hairline. And I feel like once this product is applied, it just brings everything together. For blush, I have been very much enjoying like peachier blushes lately. I'm going to actually use a blush that I've never used before, but I've been really wanting to try out. This is the Bare Minerals Bounce and Blur Blush in Coral Cloud. Oh, it kind of feels like a ColourPop blush. It's like that creamy, bouncy texture. So this is my MAC 129S, and then just stipple it onto the apples of my cheek. Ooh. That's a nice color. Ooh, you guys, this blush is so pretty. It actually has such a pretty, like, subtle sheen to it. I'm also taking a little bit of the blush and kind of sweeping it over my brow bone area. This is another trick that I learned from my mom that kind of just ties everything together. I feel like it's such a great little, very subtle way to just, I don't know, make your whole face look very harmonious. For my highlighter, I'm gonna take my Lila B Glisten and Glow Skin Illuminator. This is a cream highlighter. I'm just going to pat a little bit of this right on the tops of my cheekbones. This is kind of like a cream to powder finish, so it doesn't leave like a sticky residue on your skin. I'm also kind of attaching the highlighter to my brow bone as well to really tie it together, so it's creating a bit of like a C shape. I'm also gonna put a little bit of the highlighter right in the center of the bridge of my nose, kind of like where my eyebrows would meet, right there, and then right at the tip. For the brows, I have been using and really enjoying the new Benefit Brow Styler. It's pretty much just a powder on one end and then a angled pencil on the other. So what I like about this is that the powder side just makes getting like a more intense brow really easy, because you could, you know, define your brow with the pencil side and then kind of fill it in with the powder, and you get a pretty filled in brow look pretty quickly. And then taking the powder side, which is pretty much just like a little, I don't know what you call this, it's almost like a doe foot applicator, and then you just sweep it into your brows. It can get a little bit intense, so you've got to be a little bit careful, but it's really easy to soften. You just gotta either rub it with your finger or you could take a spoolie and it will brush it out. Okay, now we are like pretty much almost done. I'm actually going to spray my face now rather than after because I am gonna be applying lashes, and I honestly don't love spraying my face when I have lashes on already. I feel like it kind of like messes with the glue, especially this spray because it is like a dewy spray. So this is the Lila B Glow Face Mist. This face mist is so gorgeous if you want to add a little bit more glow to your skin. So I actually like just apply this, but pretty sparingly. I normally just put it kind of on my cheek area. Okay, for the eyes, there's two things that I do. The first step is taking whatever bronzer I use. So in this case, it's the Becca one. And I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush. This is my Smith 232. Pick up a little bit of the bronzer, and I'm just going to put this into my crease and on like the outer corner of my eye. The reason why I like to do this is because even though I'm not wearing anything else on my eye, I feel like just, you know, that little bit of bronzer makes such a big difference. It just shapes the eye. It makes it look, you know, a little bit more finished. So now we're actually gonna be applying lashes, and if you know me, you know I don't normally apply lashes on my channel. There's really something about just having a little bit of a lash right on the outer corner of the eye that just completely takes a look to the next level in my opinion. And having a teeny tiny little lash right on the outer corner is really not invasive at all. This is what will really take the look from here to here. What I've done, I'm not even sure which lashes these are. I believe they're probably the Velour Effortless Lash in Did I Lie? Probably. But I pretty much just cut up some lashes, and they're lashes that kind of like flare out right at the outer corner, and I'm just going to glue that on the outer corner of both of my eyes. Now when you are wearing lashes and nothing else on your eye, you kind of got to be careful that you're applying it well. If you don't, then you will end up seeing like the lash band, which you obviously don't want. So especially since we're not wearing eyeliner today, you really want to make sure that it's as close to your natural lashes as possible. So I'll wait just a little bit to let the glue get tacky, apply it right on my outer corner, and I'll kind of let it sit for a few seconds. And then once it's kind of dried down a little bit, what I'll do is I'll take some tweezers and I'll really squeeze the fake lash with my natural lashes together. You honestly don't even need to use tweezers. You could use your nails if you have long nails. That works too. Like I said, this is a natural everyday look, but with effort. Okay, so once that lash is on, you kind of want to let it sit for maybe a minute until it's like completely dry, and then you want to go in with your mascara, whatever mascara you want to use, and then you want to coat your natural lashes with the fake one. So sometimes there will be a little bit of glue showing on the lash band, especially when you close your eye, you may be able to see it. You want to take a liquid eyeliner. This is just my Stila Stay All Day. I kind of want to use this eyeliner to just paint on top of the lash band so that it actually blends into your lashes. And I'll even take a little bit of the black eyeliner and almost paint my natural lashes to get the base of the lashes looking as dark as the strip. All right guys, so we're almost finished. All that's left to do now are the lips. So for the lip, you can absolutely do whatever you want, especially with a look like this. Any color was going to work, but I am gonna be doing a nude lip today. And what I'm first going to do is I'm going to line my lips with this lip liner from Makeup Forever. And this is the color Limitless Brown. It's a pretty dark brown pencil. And I'm basically just gonna line my whole mouth with this. Now I'm taking the same brush that we used to blend that cream contour, liquid contour around the mouth, and I'm just kind of softening the lip line with the brush because I don't want it to be super intense. And now I'm going to take a darker nude. So this is the shade Taupe from MAC. It's kind of like a really pretty warm toned, medium toned nude, and put that on the whole lip. And then to lighten this up and to add some dimension, I'm gonna take Honey Love from MAC, which is lighter, but in the same color family. I'm just putting that right in the center. This matte look is really pretty. You can even add a little bit of a gloss. I'm gonna take Hourglass Child right to the center. So guys, that is actually it for the finished look. We're all done. So guys, that is it for today's look. I really hope that you enjoyed it, learned something new today. I really enjoy just teaching you guys this. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's tutorial, and of course subscribe if you want to see more of me and want to join the fam. All right guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.